Deep in the northern hemisphere, at the edge of the world, stretches an expanse of land so isolated it seems almost empty. Beneath this barren surface lies the permafrost, a permanent layer of soil and ice that stays frozen year-round. For millions of years, this deep freeze has functioned as a highly secure, invisible vault. Temperatures consistently below freezing create an ideal preservation environment. It locks away organic material, keeping it entirely deprived of light, heat, and oxygen. We tend to view this frozen landscape as an uninhabitable void, but it is actually a massive, dormant graveyard holding biological specimens that haven't seen the sun in millennia. Now, as global temperatures continue to rise, the structural integrity of that ancient vault is failing. The ice is cracking under the stress of a warming climate, exposing what was permanently sealed. When we look closely at the eroding cliffs, we see the physical reality of the thaw. The earthen overhang collapses, leaving thick, ancient ice directly exposed to the warming air. Within the debris of the thaw, researchers are extracting prehistoric pathogens that have been perfectly encased in the ice for over 50,000 years. While much of the climate conversation focuses on the atmosphere, the most urgent biological consequences are emerging from the ground beneath our feet. To understand what they've pulled from the dirt, scientists must transport these ancient samples out of the Siberian wilderness and into the sterile isolation of high-security research facilities. Here, they study the mechanics of suspended animation. At sub-zero temperatures, metabolic processes effectively stop, allowing microscopic life to remain viable, waiting in the dark ice for tens of thousands of years. Inside these secure rooms, researchers carefully extract the microbes and initiate a controlled thawing process, bringing the samples up to modern room temperature. As the ice turns to water, the pathogens wake up. 50 millennia locked in a frozen state did not destroy these viruses, it merely put them on pause. This micrograph shows the viruses extracted from the permafrost. These oval structures remain structurally intact, showing no degradation despite 50 millennia in the freeze. Look at these tight formations. Immediately upon thawing, they began to move, positioning themselves to attach to host cells. They quickly penetrate living amoebas introduced into the petri dish, replicating and taking over the host. They are as capable of infecting cells today as they were during the last ice age. Inside the laboratory dish, a microscopic breach has already occurred. These prehistoric entities are alive, armed, and completely operational. The problem expands dramatically when we consider what happens if a pathogen like this moves beyond the laboratory and into the modern human population. Our immune systems operate on a library of biological memory, defenses built through generations of exposure to modern threats. Because these pathogens have been isolated for 50,000 years, our bodies have never developed the specific antibodies to recognize them. Because our species has no recent history with these specific strains, we have no natural shield, no developed vaccines, and zero evolutionary preparation. If one of these ancient viruses successfully makes the jump from the melting ice into humans, we are defenseless against a predator that predates our own history. And the environment holding these threats back is rapidly disappearing. The warming of the Siberian permafrost is accelerating with every passing day. Millions of square miles of frozen earth are steadily turning to mud. It is an actively expanding reservoir of unknown biological material. The mechanics of global temperature rise guarantee that more of this ancient ice will thaw, releasing whatever has been trapped inside for tens of thousands of years. The permafrost vault is opening, reintroducing ancient biological entities into a world that no longer remembers how to fight them.